This is my cargo trailer camper conversion. It's a 6x12 single axle aluminum cargo trailer. It's by Diamond Trailers. I purchased this brand new. I did have them install two 15-inch by 30-inch windows, and I did have them add 3 inches of extra interior height. The original interior height was 6 feet. Now it's 6 feet 3 inches, just to give a little extra interior height. That's the second window. I added a 15 by 30 RV door window, and it works really well as a shade. Super easy to install. It had a template. You just tape on the door and draw around the template, cut it out. It's just a foam core door. Very simple. The reason I went with a cargo trailer instead of just buying a camper is I have a Toyota 4Runner, and even though it will tow 5,000 pounds, it doesn't tow it very well. I have a boat back here that's about 3,500 pounds, and that's about the max I want to tow with that 4Runner. This little cargo camper trailer is about 2,000 pounds, and that's after I did everything to it. When I purchased it, it was about 1,300 pounds, and I probably added about 700 pounds to it. So the way I set up this micro camper, I put the kitchen in the very back, and I ordered this with barn doors. Usually they come with a ramp, but you have the option of doing the barn doors that swing out to the side. And the reason I did that is I wanted my kitchen outside. With a little tiny, 12-foot long camper like this, if you have your kitchen inside, everything ends up smelling like whatever you cooked that night. So if you cooked stir fry, or if you cooked anything, your bed and your sheets end up smelling like that. So I did my camper kitchen. Sun looks like it's hitting it a little bit. I did it all outside here. So I added this little dorm fridge. Purchased this at Lowe's. It was on sale, and it works great. Holds a ton of food. I can plug this in the night before and fill it full of food, and I can drive 6 hours and everything is still cold. In fact, the last time we went camping was about a 3.5-hour drive, and I opened a beverage when I got to the campsite and it was still icy cold. I purchased these cabinets at Lowe's. They were about 60 bucks each, so about 120 for the cabinets. And my sink is just a salad bowl from Amazon. Very simple. I wanted to go simple. I wanted to go light. Not much to it. I have a propane stove in my Tupperware here, and what I do is I just fold out this table and set it up outside, and I put my stove out there. That way it doesn't produce a lot of grease in the kitchen and fire hazard. Add a little shelf here. I can put some dinner plates out here and sit at the bar and have some dinner. The way I did the plumbing for the sink is just a switch, and all this does is operate a fountain pump. I think it's like 350 gallons per hour, just your cheap fountain pump you can buy on Amazon. And what I did was just used a 5-gallon bucket. I've got 2 of them, and I cut a hole out in the bucket, as you can see here, and I just dropped the pump in there. It's a submersible pump, and with the 2 buckets I just fill up at the faucet at the RV park. I don't do any boondocking, so I don't need to take water with me. And I keep extra things in here, bowls, mixing bowls, and gas stove. So like I said, it's pretty easy, simple design. Wash my dishes. I just plumbed it underneath the camper. There's no holding tank for my wastewater. It's just gray water. It's not anything nasty. I use a biodegradable soap. And you can see it just kind of pours out into the grass at the camper. No one's ever complained about it. So this is my kitchen. A little windy today. Got some cabinets with my coffee maker and some plates. And this side I usually keep my food in. I've got some things up there too. Pots and koozies and cups. So that's the outdoor kitchen. I do have a little accent lighting. Some under cabinet mount lights. But pretty straightforward, pretty simple. A 30 amp service. This is an adapter to hook up to a 15 amp outlet. I use just a super inexpensive, see if you can see, 30 amp plug here. I thought about doing it on the outside of the camper, but I like the idea of having it underneath. Less chance for rainwater to get in there, and kind of a little stealthier. No one can really tell that this is a camper. And this has a toilet, it has air conditioning, and you saw the kitchen. But from the outside, you really can't tell that this is anything more than just a cargo trailer. I'll show you the inside now. So inside, we can sleep 3 people. My wife and I, we sleep down here, and our 9-year-old, he sleeps up here. This is a twin over a full. I purchased this frame, I think, at Walmart. And the reason I did that was for, I think I spent $250. Probably almost the same price as all the lumber that I would have spent to make a bunk bed. And I think it's probably lighter. And I was really going for as light as I possibly could go. I did put a little TV in here for my son. Although when I'm camping, I really just like to be outside. That's another reason we did a micro camper, is I'm not really into sitting inside the camper on a couch watching TV. I want to be outside. I just need a safe place to sleep at night away from the bears. We've had problems with bears camping. We actually had a 400-pound bear raid our kitchen, our outdoor kitchen one time. So it's nice being protected. I've got these little shelves, and they fold down. Kind of like a nightstand. I can fold them down when I'm making the bed. I've got some outlets in the back here, plug in our phones. So yeah, my son sleeps up top. There is a vent up here. No fan. I can open that up and open these windows, and it gets a nice cross breeze. I did do an air conditioner, and it's just one of those portable units that you hook a hose up to the window. I modified it a little bit, and I'll show you how I did that. To heat the place, we just use a little electric ceramic heater, and even on low, it will heat this little trailer up very quickly. This is the bathroom over here, and I did kind of a half door to allow the air conditioning to circulate from the bathroom into the into the main part of the camper. Little LED light here, switch. So inside our bathroom, real small toilet. This is just a porta potty can toilet. I was thinking about using a cassette toilet, but I heard a lot of reviews of them leaking. And to be honest, this is quite easy. You know, you just fill this with a little bit of water, and it's just a bucket. And pee and do whatever you have to do, and you just take this out, and there's no drips or leaks, and take it to the bathroom at the RV park and flush it. You know, the cassette toilets, I guess you get 3 or 4 flushes, but eventually those seals break down and you get leaks and it just gets nasty. So I like the idea of this instead, and to be honest, it was probably half the price of a cassette toilet. I did put it on a little bit of a pedestal here because it just wasn't quite high enough. This gives it the height of a standard house toilet. Now I've got my spare tire that's bolted in here, and I've got lots of storage. A little light here. You can see probably can't see, but that's just a little electric heater I can pull out. This is for clothes. 3 shelves, 1 for each of us. I just did some kind of bungee cord just to hold it in while we're driving. 30 amp box. Let's see if I can get some more light. And I used stranded wire instead of solid copper wire. The reason I did that is it's just a lot easier to work with. And supposedly stranded wire is what you should use in boats and campers instead of copper. Copper can come loose. So stranded wire is what they recommend. It's, like I said, much easier to work with to make turns, and it doesn't kind of bend and stay bent. So this is the little bathroom. Air conditioning, like I said, is just a portable AC. I did modify it slightly. So originally when I put it in and I turned it on, it created such a vacuum in the camper, negative pressure, that you could barely open the camper door. This pulls air in from the outside, from inside the camper, and blows it out. So the hot air travels down this pipe outside the camper, and I just cut a hole in the floor. And then you can see here I added this. This pulls air from the outside of the camper and circulates it through the air conditioner and cools the compressor, and then blows the hot air back out. So now with this little modification, I don't get any negative pressure in the camper. And it was also really inefficient because it was pulling what air it could from outside. When it created the negative pressure, it pulled it in through the sides of the window, and it was just bringing hot, humid air into the camper. So it really did not work well. So when I added the second return in here, it made a world of difference, huge difference, and it now cools so much better. So another little quick tour. This is the window I installed, and it has a nice little shade I can pull down. My mom made us some curtains here, so we can really get this nice and dark. That's the worst part of camping, I think, is waking up in the morning to just a blast of sunlight in your tent. It wakes you up, crack of dawn. Of course, the birds also wake you up. So it's nice being in something that's a little more solid and a little quieter. Another thing I did was I needed some place to put my bicycles. I can fit my mountain bike. We do a lot of mountain biking. I can fit one mountain bike in here, but I needed a place to put my wife's mountain bike and my son's mountain bike, and I thought about adding a receiver hitch under here, but there's so little room that if I did that it would scrape. So what I did instead, and I'll show you a picture of it after this, is I mounted these fork mounts, and you can buy these on Amazon, about 15-20 bucks a piece, and you just take the front wheel off of your bicycle and this locks into your fork. You tighten it down, it just hangs. And I'll show you a picture of that. You have some little solar lights that help at nighttime, and that's about it. If you have any comments or questions, put in the comments. And if you're making a cargo camper conversion, I highly recommend it.